What's going on, everybody? And we are live. How we doing today? Welcome into the live stream. We got an interesting slate. We got some news filing in here that we weren't quite expecting with the Kings, that it's really going to open up some value that we weren't quite expecting to have. So the fastest pace game on the slate just became even more interesting. If you tuned into my video earlier, you know that the Houston Rockets Sacramento game is going to be the fastest game on the slate by far. It's a 239.5 over under right now. I'm going to have to go ahead and refresh this because of all this craziness coming in. We got a confirmation on a starting lineup of Fox, Davis, Barnes, Mayhew, Holmes, and Damian Jones were just ruled in. Both for conditioning reasons were ruled out, returning from the health and safety protocols list. So what does this all mean? We're going to go ahead and break it down, guys. Welcome in. Hit that like button if you're enjoying this content. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. And I also have a parlay play pick for you that's going to turn $25 into $250 tonight. So if you haven't signed up for parlay play, guys, sponsor the channel, check them out. And today's pick right now going to be stacking up that Sacramento-Houston game now. I mean, there's no Halliburton, there's no Marvin Bagley now, and these lines are way too low. I already locked this in myself. You can do so. You can get an instant match deposit up to $50 and a risk-free $10 when you sign up today using my promo code KJK003, or you can use my link down below in the description. I'm also going to drop that link in the chat. But I am a very big fan of this pick today. De'Aaron Fox over 35.5 parlay points. Christian Wood over 36.5 parlay points. Harrison Barnes over 26.5. Kevin Porter over 25.5. I think those lines are way too low. And if you lock that pick in for a $25 pick today, sign up, use that promo code KJK003. You can instant that match deposit and you get a risk-free $10. That's what we started this bankroll challenge out with. We have multiplied our bankroll by 6x up to $60.56. And if we hit this one today, that'll be a quick $250 added to that bankroll. So lock that in, guys. Feeling really good about it. And let's talk about this slate today. Let's talk about it. It's only a 3-gamer, which became a lot more interesting here. So we're going to break it down. Patrick, how we doing? To Prince, how we doing? Favorite center overall? We'll talk about it. I think that we can start right off the bat in this game. Christian Wood, going to absolutely love him as a center in this fast up-tempo game. Rashawn Holmes is back, so he's not going to get quite as easy as a matchup as he possibly could have if he was ruled out as well. But Christian Wood's going to be a phenomenal play. Everyone in this game is going to be a phenomenal play because this pace and this game environment is just crazy. We had the same exact game on the slate the other night, and it went very, very well for you if you stacked it up. But I think the same thing is going to be said tonight, and we have some even cheaper pieces that we can be using now with the news of no Marvin Bagley, no Tyrese Halliburton. Buddy Hield going to be a phenomenal play now. Harrison Barnes a phenomenal play. Terrence Davis. Mayhew at 4-5. Now, the biggest question, and I think that what could win this slate tonight, is going to be how this center rotation is going to work for the Sacramento Kings now. Marvin Bagley was ruled out. Mayhew is going to start, and I think that he's the safest bet here. He's already been playing for quite some time. His conditioning is up to par. Damian Jones and Holmes are returning. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this breaks down. You have Mayhew, you have Damian Jones, and you have Alex Len as well as Rashawn Holmes. So how they diversify these minutes could go a really long way for you in your tournaments if you're going to be playing some of these guys. I mean, the one thing that I would say is Alex Len and Mayhew have already been, up to par as far as conditioning is concerned. They're not returning from an injury like a Damian Jones, like a Rashawn Holmes. So for that reason, you could make an argument that it makes sense to lean towards them. But then when I'm looking at the price tag of Rashawn Holmes, he's priced very friendly over here at 5.3. Even if you have him projected for like mid-20s minutes, there's a strong possibility he could get you there at only a 5.3 price tag, taking on a Houston Rockets team that is one of the worst teams in the league defensively, if not the worst. Looking at my premium content defensive half-court and putbacks tool over here on Patreon, you can see that the Houston Rockets currently grade out as the 29th overall team in points per possession rank in the half-court setting. 24th in offensive rebounding percentage allowed, 24th in half-court percentage of plays rank given up, and 23rd in points per miss, aka putbacks. So Rockets are really not good defensively. They're terrible around the rim. Rashawn Holmes is going to be in a great spot. The only problem is how many minutes are they going to give him? We haven't gotten a report on if he's going to be limited or anything. But, I mean, he hasn't played since December 31st. So I have a hard time seeing him just going out there and taking on a full allotment of minutes. The question is, what does he get? Does he get 20? Does he get 30? And I highly doubt we're going to get a report on that. I haven't seen anything on Twitter. I've been refreshing and trying to keep up to date on that. For my current premium content members, if you hop in the Discord chat and we see anything, send some stuff in. And if I see anything, I will gladly send that in as well. But for the time being, I'm anticipating that Damian Jones, Rashawn Holmes probably play like, 20 minutes apiece, I would say. Here, they keep them somewhat limited, and then we see Maytu take on the biggest role at 4-5. So Maytu, I think, really making a lot of sense. And then, obviously, the other plays are going to get a big bump up. Buddy Hield, Harrison Barnes, both going to be phenomenal plays at 6-1 and 5-7 with no Halliburton now. That is a big piece of news. That's going to be a big bump up to these guys. De'Aaron Fox gets a huge bump up as well, but he's not priced as cheaply as these guys. You have Buddy Hield at 5-7, Harrison Barnes at only 6-1. I mean, those guys are just going to absolutely smash now. And then when there being no Halliburton, it's going to be Terrence Davis and Davion Mitchell that are getting a big step up as well. So we already know Terrence Davis is getting the start. We know that Rashawn Holmes is going to be probably limited coming back. Same can be said for Damian Jones. So loading up on some Terrence Davis, some Harrison Barnes, some Buddy Hield, some De'Aaron Fox in the spot makes a lot of sense to me. In such a fast, up-paced game, guys. You got to love it. I mean, I'm sure these guys are going to be popular, but they should be. It's a 238.5 over-under. 121 implied points for the Kings, 117.5 points implied for the Rockets. You should be getting a lot of exposure to this game. And if you're not, I don't think your night's going to go too well. Running it back on the other side with Houston. Christian Wood's the top play, obviously, is the pay-up option. I'm also going to be wanting to play the rest of the guys that are getting big minutes. Who is that going to be? Kevin Porter Jr., Jayshawn Tate, Eric Gordon, Jalen Green. So I'd be really locking in on those guys. Getting cute with the other plays, I don't really think is a necessity. I just want to load up on the guys that have solidified minutes. And we know that Sacramento now has even more solidified minutes and more usage to go around with there being no Halliburton, with there being no Marvin Bagley. Absolute smash spot. I will be loading up on this first game. I would suggest that you guys do too. And I don't think it's rocket science. Look at the totals on this slate. 238.5, 223.5, 215.5. What's the highest? 238.5. So, and then you add on the Sacramento Kings injuries that we weren't anticipating, and I mean, the Kings, just specifically the Kings side, just becomes too good, man. It becomes too good. This game is far less likely to turn into a blowout as well, with no Halliburton, no Bagley. So everything's adding up here to just smash. You got to be loading up on this game, and if you're not, like I said, I think you're doing it wrong, and I have to update my latest projections here, and it looks like, yeah, I mean, Terrence Davis in Maytu. No surprise, really popping. Davion Mitchell became a much better play. Harrison Barnes became a much better play here. So, yeah, you gotta just get a ton of exposure to this game. you have to. So love that. Utah taking on Denver's the second game on the slate. With this value opening up, I do think that getting up to Nikola Jokic becomes a lot easier now. We have the Maytu play. We have the Terrence Davis play. So, I mean, it's getting up to Nikola Jokic should be no issue. He's the top fantasy point producer in the league. And for that reason, makes a lot of sense to be getting to him. You're looking at the fantasy point per minute production on the season. He's putting up 1.7 FanDuel points per minute as far as DraftKings is concerned. He's putting up 1.78 DK points per minute. And now we have all this other value opening up, and it's a game that's expected to stay close. Anytime that Nikola Jokic is in a game that's expected to stay close, I would highly advise that you get quite a bit of exposure to him. It's a 223.5 over-under. It's a 6-point spread in favor of Utah if the game's going to stay close. There is a high likelihood that Nikola Jokic comes back. The only downside here is that Rudy Gobert is expected to return. Rudy Gobert is a phenomenal low post defender around the rim, great rim protector, makes it very difficult on opponents who go inside. So the Utah Jazz just got a big bump up in their defense with Mr. Rudy Gobert returning here. So Nikola Jokic's not going to be in quite as good of a spot, but we do know that Nikola Jokic has the ability to shoot from beyond the arc. He can create on the dribble. I mean, he's not a typical down low post center. So Rudy Gobert definitely a little bit scary having him back defending Jokic, but at the same time, top fantasy point per minute producer in the league. The game's expected to stay close. We have some more value popping now with those Sacramento Kings guys being out. I think it makes a lot of sense to be getting up to some Nikola Jokic in your lineups tonight, and I would advise you to do so. So yeah, Nikola Jokic going to be a great play. Donovan Mitchell, another pay-up option in this game at 9-1. The only question is how much of a priority is Donovan Mitchell now when we have some other guys that get a big bump up, like a De'Aaron Fox, who's a little bit cheaper in a faster up-tempo game, like a Buddy Hield, like a Harrison Barnes, etc. You know, you can only play so many guys at each position. So Donovan Mitchell, I do think it's a pretty strong secondary option here for as far as pay-up options. But do we get to him with a roster construction is the question that I'm going to be having. And I would certainly not advise you to not be playing him, but that's just the debate we're going to be having on. Looking at the rest of the guys in this game, you could be getting some low-owned guys in the mid-range that do grade out as pretty decent plays, like a Mike Conley, a Bogdanovich, a Jordan Clarkson. The problem for me is all these guys are going to take a hit with Rudy Gobert coming back. Although he's not directly correlated with him, he is a starter that wasn't in the starting lineup. They were getting some more minutes, some more usage to go around with no Rudy Gobert. And now that he's back, it's going to affect these guys just enough to where I'm not too intrigued to be playing them. And the fact of the matter is, we talked about it, that first game, like, do I want to play Jordan Clarkson at 5'5", or do I want to go over to the Houston-Sacramento game, fastest paced game on the slate, and play a Buddy Hield at 5'7" now, with no Halliburton, with no Marvin Bagley? I mean, it's a no-brainer for me. Don't get me wrong. Could Buddy Hield pay off for you in your tournament? Sure, but I'm sorry. Could Jordan Clarkson play off for you in your tournament? Sure, but I just don't see it. I don't see the path to the upside that these other guys have. So that's going to be my approach here. And overall in this game, these secondary options, they just aren't too intriguing to me. Joe Ingles grades out as a decent play. We have Jeff Green at 3.8, who graded out as a decent play. Still does, getting the starting minutes with there being no JaMychal Green for this Denver Nuggets rotation. Makes some sense, but with these latest projection runs and everything that I'm working on right now, it's very clear that the Sacramento guys are obviously going to take a big step forward. So, yeah, I am also doing my latest projection up there right now. If you are a premium content member, keep your eyes on the sheets because they're about to be updated right now. So, yeah, I got to get the latest odds in there and everything as well with these guys all being out. The lines obviously have shifted a little bit in some of those games. And if you're not a premium content member, you can go ahead and check that out, guys. Patreon.com/KJK_DFS. You can get access to my premium NBA projections, all that stuff. I'll be pulling that up on the screen in a little bit to show you guys what it has to offer. But for the time being, if you're enjoying this content, smack that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. And if you have any questions in the chat, feel free to ask them. Overall, this game, the one thing I will say that I think is a little bit interesting in this game that could go lower owned is Austin Rivers is listed as questionable. If he is indeed ruled out, we saw Bones Highland get a lot of run in a blowout last time out. I had a lot of interest in Bones Highland as is from like a tournament aspect. Did I think that Bones Highland was going to go out there and score 50 DraftKings points? No, I did not. But did I think that it was reasonable for him to maybe get around 30? Have we seen him do that multiple times playing, like, for instance, 23 minutes? We have. And if there's no Austin Rivers, this could be another spot where we get Bones Highland at 3.6 getting a bump up in minutes. He's not going to play those 33 minutes if the game stays close like it's expected to with a 6-point spread. But if he does get those 23, 24, 25 minutes, I could pay off for you in tournaments, and we'll go low owned because I don't think anyone's really going to be trying to lock in on some Bones Highland exposure in this one. So a little bit of a sneakier play there. If indeed Austin Rivers is ruled out, could be going there. But overall, this game, it's just going to be really tough to be going there with this Houston-Sacramento value. So, and next, third game on the slate, we got to talk about this. We do have a big bump up in usage for some Golden State Warriors guys. There's no Stephen Curry. There is no Draymond Green. That's very relevant news. Looking at the total in this game comes with a 215.5 over under. It's a 5-point spread in favor of the Minnesota Timberwolves. And so the thing is, there's no Stephen Curry. That is going to make Jordan Poole one of the top plays on the slate. He is my lock of the night. If you didn't watch my video earlier, absolutely love Jordan Poole at 5.4 here. He's just going to be too cheap. Expected to play around 30 minutes, if not more. We did get confirmation that there's no Gary Payton the second in this game as well. Not that he was going to be too much of a threat to Jordan Poole, but if anything, that just locks his minutes in even more, and we could be seeing some more minutes for Damian Lee as well, taking on this Minnesota squad tonight. So Jordan Poole, going to be a phenomenal option. What does that mean for the rest of the Golden State Warriors team? I also think Andrew Wiggins becomes a really good play here. 6'6", taking on his former team in the Minnesota Timberwolves. If you think that revenge narratives are real, this would be one of the best ones that you could be doing. And honestly, I believe in this because the Minnesota Timberwolves practically gave up on Andrew Wiggins. Everyone said that Andrew Wiggins was pretty much washed. He came to the Golden State Warriors, completely revived his career, has really taken the challenge on, and has been playing phenomenal for these Golden State Warriors. Really good defender, can shoot the ball, has fit in really well to their system. Now he gets to take on his former team in Minnesota with no Stephen Curry, no Draymond Green. He's going to have a big bump in usage, and I do think there's going to be a bit of an added agenda. I mean, let's be honest. If a team just gives up on you and ships you off, you're probably going to want to play very good against them, get back at them, kind of show them that you still got game, all that fun stuff. And I think Andrew Wiggins is in a phenomenal spot here, both at an upside price tag everything kind of lines up for Andrew Wiggins. So Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins going to be my top 2 options on the Golden State Warriors side of things. Klay Thompson, I would like if he's not limited, but we're going to continue to see Klay Thompson limited to around 20 minutes. Could he go out there and hit, 10 threes and really pay off at this price tag? Yes. Are there some other spots with the Sacramento Kings injury news and all the stuff we talked about that are way better with the minutes locked in, all that fun stuff? Yes, there are. So, I mean, Klay Thompson, it's an easy fade for me. I'm going to be sticking to Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins. Some more secondary options that are really looking good to me would be an Otto Porter Jr. at 5'4". We saw him go off last game, 37 DraftKings points. He only played 19 minutes in that blowout as well. You could imagine if he went out there for, his full 28 minutes or so, then he would be even scoring even more points. So Otto Porter Jr., great value play as well. It's just a matter of, is he as good of a play as some of those other sides? And some sneakier value plays I think you could be looking to on the Golden State Warriors side that also grade out as decent values for me would be these 3 guys: Bjelica, Kuminga, and lastly, Andre Iguodala. Andre Iguodala is 3.7. And once again, with the value open up with Terrence Davis only at 3.7, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to be getting to an Andre Iguodala, but he could be a nice pivot play. He's going to get plenty of minutes now with there being no Gary Payton, no Stephen Curry. I mean, out of 3.7 price tag, he'll still get a decent allotment of minutes here and could certainly pay off for you in your tournament lineups. So the Golden State Warriors side, my favorite. Running it back on the other side, it's really simple on Minnesota. There's 3 guys. It's Karl-Anthony Towns, it's Anthony Edwards, it's D'Angelo Russell. You can make a case that D'Angelo Russell's taking on his former team against the Golden State Warriors as well. I mean, I talked about the Andrew Wiggins thing. Now, Golden State got rid of D'Angelo Russell. Maybe it turns into a D'Angelo Russell and Andrew Wiggins show, and I wouldn't mind that on this slate tonight. Stacking up those 2 guys, hoping they go back and forth. Makes a lot of sense to be getting some exposure here, and the same can be said for an Anthony Edwards. Those 2 guys are my favorite plays from the Minnesota side based on their price tag and their upside. There's a very solid chance that Anthony Edwards could drop, 40-plus DraftKings points. D'Angelo Russell could drop 40-plus DraftKings points. They have 50-plus upside, and their price tags are much different than Karl-Anthony Towns. And I think the only rule I would make here, it's only a 215.5 over-under, is if you are playing Karl-Anthony Towns, I don't think it's smart to be playing in Anthony Edwards and a D'Angelo Russell because they're 8.6 and 8.4. If Karl-Anthony Towns gets there at 10.3 and he has that tournament upside that you're looking for out of him, there's a strong chance those other 2 guys don't get there, or at least not one of them. So don't be playing all 3 of these guys together. I think the logical thing would be to play either Anthony Edwards and D'Angelo Russell and fade Karl-Anthony Towns, or play Karl-Anthony Towns and fade these 2 guys. So that's going to kind of be my approach as far as building those lineups. So quick little overview there on DraftKings, guys. Feeling really good about this slate. We had some more value open up with these Sacramento Kings values. So like I said, for my premium content members, I'm going to be updating those projections right now. I'll be updating my core plays after the stream, of course, as always. And if you are not a premium content member of mine, I would highly recommend that you check it out. You can head on over to patreon.com/KJK_DFS and check out all that it has to offer. And pulling up on the screen right here, what you would get, you get the premium NBA projections, NBA data sheet, player stats, team stats, play contacts, and core plays. So check that out if you're interested. And if you're just joining the stream, guys, I have a parlay play of the day pick for you guys that will turn your money into a 10x pick. So pulling that up on the screen here. I absolutely love this pick. We got the confirmation that Marvin Bagley was ruled out. There is no Halliburton in this game. That's going to be a big bump up to the Sacramento Kings rotation. If you haven't signed up for Parlay Play, you can sign up today using that code KJK003. You'll get an instant match deposit up to $50. You will also get a risk-free $10 to play with when you sign up today. And this $25 pick will turn your $25 into $250. I have the over on Kevin Porter Jr., the over on Harrison Barnes, the over on Christian Wood, and the over on De'Aaron Fox. Absolutely love this pick. You can sign up using that link down below in the description, or you can use my promo code KJK003, and I'll be dropping that link in the chat as well. Once again, you can turn $25 into $250 tonight, and I plan to do so. So lock that in. I already have it locked in on my end, just to pull it up and show you guys some proof of my entries here. Right there. So we have De'Aaron Fox, Christian Wood, Harrison Barnes, Kevin Porter. Take the over on all those guys. Loving it. And we're going to be talking about FanDuel as well, guys. Before we do, if you're enjoying the stream, if you could please take a second to leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. That would be greatly appreciated. I'll be here all NBA DFS season long, breaking down these NBA DFS slates to help you guys become better NBA DFS players, help you win some money night in and night out. And if you have any questions regarding DraftKings, we just went over that. We're going to review FanDuel as well. And I promise before I head off on the stream, I will touch on all of your questions before I head out. So I guess quickly, before we get into the FanDuel breakdown, let's look at the chat right now, answer any questions that we have coming through, make sure that I'm getting back to you guys. Looks like we have a few super chats, so thank you for the super chats. I appreciate that. Let's see. Blue Doc says, I'm leaving money on the table tonight. Yeah, I don't hate that idea at all. I mean, especially with this fast up-tempo Sacramento Kings-Houston game we're talking about, it's going to be the best fantasy spot on the slate. If you want to just load up on that game, go low on salary, I think that makes a ton of sense. That's by far the top environment, though, in the game that I'll be going to. So that's what I would really want to be doing there. Mitchell or Ant Edwards on FanDuel. I would go with Donovan Mitchell there. Donovan Mitchell just has more usage. Looking at their price tags, though, let's make sure that I kind of have an idea. Ant Edwards is 8-2. Yeah, I would go with Donovan Mitchell there. They are really close, don't get me wrong, but I just think Donovan Mitchell takes the edge there. He dominates the usage on the Utah side of thing, whereas Anthony Edwards shares a little bit more usage with a D'Angelo Russell. So that'd be my approach there. Great content. Smack that like button. Thank you. Appreciate that. Do you like any prize picks tonight? I don't really cover prize picks for the time being, Brandon, but I do cover Parlay Play. They're the sponsor of the channel, and if you didn't see, you can probably use this over there on Parlay Play too. I really like the over on De'Aaron Fox, Christian Wood, Harrison Barnes, Kevin Porter Jr. I don't know what the lines are on prize picks, but these lines are way too low, and I'm gonna be capitalizing on it. There's no Marvin Bagley, there's no Tyrese Halliburton. Fox and Barnes are gonna get a big bump up. Christian Woods, Kevin Porter in a high up tempo game. I mean, I have these guys projected to way outscore these lines here on Parlay Play. So if you haven't signed up for Parlay Play, go over there, create an account, and use that promo code KJK003 or use my link down below in the description. And if you play on PrizePicks, you're going to love Parlay Play as well. It's an alternative site. You get that instant match deposit up to $50. And I really, really like this pick. I can't stress it enough. I think we're going to turn that $25 into $250 tonight. You're going to 10x. So check that out. Do you have a max for players on the same team in your lineups? Not necessarily. It depends upon, like, a good example of that. It depends upon the salary of the players and the injury news. So, like, on the Sacramento side, I mean, the Sacramento just lost two really big starters in Halliburton and Marvin Bagley. So, I mean, I could see you playing a ton of Sacramento guys tonight. It just makes sense. Their usage is going to go up. They're also in the fastest up-tempo game on the slate. But, there are some spots where I will limit my exposure. So, like, a good example, we talked about it in that last game, the Minnesota game. You have Karl-Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, and D'Angelo Russell. They're all kind of packed in there around the same price ranges. They all kind of take usage away from one another, and they're priced differently. So, like, if I'm paying up for Karl-Anthony Towns at 10-3, and he has a big enough game to pay off that price tag, I mean, he's 10-3. That's a big difference in price between him and Anthony Edwards and D'Angelo Russell. So that means Cat's going to go out there and probably put up, 60, 70 DraftKings points. And for every time that he's scoring, grabbing a rebound, doing something, they can't. So it doesn't really make sense to be paying up for Karl-Anthony Towns and playing both Anthony Edwards and D'Angelo Russell. It just doesn't make sense to be doing that. You're limiting your upside. And if you're paying up for Karl-Anthony Towns, you're expecting that he has a big enough game to where those guys probably don't quite get there at their price tag. So that's a long-winded answer, but that's the truth. It depends upon the game environment, the injury news, the usage, all that fun stuff. It's kind of a lot that goes into that. Top two pay-up options on FanDuel. Fresh ass. Top two pay-up options on FanDuel. Well, let's talk about it. We're going to get to it pretty soon. But let's go ahead and just talk about the FanDuel pricing. You have Nikola Jokic priced at 10.9. And everyone else on the slate's really not priced even close to him. So, I mean, Nikola Jokic would be my top pay-up option without even a doubt. He's the top fantasy point producer in the league. And there's really not much thought behind it. And then from a secondary aspect of plays, my second pay-up option probably at this point has to be De'Aaron Fox. He's 8K. There's no Tyrese Halliburton. There's no Marvin Bagley now. He's in the fastest up-tempo game. He's not exactly a quote-unquote pay-up option because he's a little bit cheaper than some of those other guys. But he gets a huge bump up in usage here. And in a fast up-tempo game, I mean, he could just absolutely crush tonight. So I like De'Aaron Fox a ton. Now, with no Halliburton, with no Marvin Bagley, makes a lot of sense to be getting exposure there. Patrick says, let's get the likes up. Yes, sir. I greatly appreciate that, guys. We got 7 likes, 23 people in here. I'm trying to get to 20 likes on all these live streams. So if you're enjoying the content, hit that like button. Would greatly appreciate it. Do I like Klay Thompson? No, he's limited on minutes, so that's a no for me. Wiggins or Wood, I like both those guys a lot. I depends upon your roster construction, my dude. But if you're playing those two guys, I think you're in the right spot. I would go Wiggins at his price tag. More upside. On FanDuel, Healed or Kaminga? I would go Healed, not even a doubt, man. I mean, Healed gets a big bump up now. Yeah, you got to go with Buddy Healed. So that's my answer there. Eric Gordon, Rashawn Holmes. Eric Gordon, Rashawn Holmes could be limited in his first game back. Jokic or Cat on FanDuel? Jokic, not even a question. All right, so let's talk about FanDuel, guys. If you're playing over here on FanDuel, we talked about DraftKings. We have an overall idea on the slate, but I want to be making sure that I am talking about it here as well. I'm going to do a quick one more projection update here before we talk about it, so I can just make sure that what I'm telling you guys is the latest and greatest here. And for my current premium content members, if you want to check that out, the latest projections are going up right now. And if you're not a current premium content member, I would highly suggest that you become one. You get access to all this fun stuff that I'm working on right now, as well as my core plays. That's linked below in the description. I'll put that up on the screen just so you can kind of see what it has to offer. But this is all included in the premium content package. You can also join the KJK DFS fan club, linked below. If you click on the join button below the video on the YouTube, that's up, and you can get priority in the comments. You get the KJK DFS emoji next to your name. All of that fun stuff, guys. So we got some fun stuff going on here. And also, if you haven't locked in that parlay play of the day today, I think you really should, because you are going to 10x your money. So head on over to parlay play, sign up using that promo code KJK003. You get your free $10. You get your instant match deposit, and you can turn $25 into $250 tonight. And that is exactly what I plan to do. So check them out. Lock in this pick that you see on the screen. And we will have our bankroll up to $310.56 tonight after this hits. So I'm feeling really confident about it. Loving the pick. All right, so let's talk about it. I just did my latest projection update here. Let's talk about some of the guys I'm looking to on FanDuel. We already kind of have an idea. We talked about it on DraftKings. We know the guys that are getting bumps up in usage. Absolutely going to love Andrew Wiggins over here for sure. Priced at a 5.8 price tag. He's even cheaper over here than he is on DraftKings. Like we said, there's no Stephen Curry. There's no Draymond Green. That's going to be a huge bump up. Klay Thompson's still limited in his minutes. We know Andrew Wiggins is not. So Andrew Wiggins' upside is massive here, especially on FanDuel. That price tag is just too cheap. So I will definitely be getting lots of exposure if I'm playing over there on FanDuel to Andrew Wiggins. Going to make a lot of sense. My latest projection run with the Kings news of Terrence Davis starting. Terrence Davis, absolute smash play over here. He's the minimum salary on FanDuel. He is too easy to be locking in your lineups if you're playing over there. Putting up 0.99 FanDuel points per minute on the season. And starting now, so minimum salary, Terrence Davis is going to be a phenomenal play. You definitely want to be getting some exposure to him in your lineups tonight, because, I mean, he's just going to absolutely smash at a minimum salary on FanDuel. That's too easy, so love getting exposure to him. And obviously, May 2 gets a big bump up as well. He's priced at 4.6 on FanDuel, going to be a phenomenal value over there as well with this news. He's at the center position only. The only thing that's, that's a little bit unfortunate, because you probably want to be paying up for Nikola Jokic, I would guess. I mean, there's a counter argument to be made in this fast up-tempo game. I know someone earlier in the chat said they were going to be leaving salary on the table for this slate. I don't hate that at all. With all this news coming out, all these guys getting a bump up, leaving some salary on the table could be a good way to get contrarian. And there are a lot of really, really good options on this slate now. So, yeah. But honestly, Nikola Jokic is grading out as a really, really good play for me over on FanDuel. With all this value popping up, close game, 10-9. That's a really friendly price tag for Nikola Jokic, man. Top fantasy point producer in the league. He only played 28 minutes last time out. They are on a back-to-back, but that game turned into a blowout with LA, so I'm not too concerned about him being too limited on a back-to-back. And I would be loading up on some Nikola Jokic with this value we have. Obviously, we talked about Terrence Davis, but now we have a bump up to other guys, like a Buddy Hield at 5.1 in that game. He's going to be too cheap over here on FanDuel. I mean, we already kind of talked about it. You're going to want to be loading up on this game. It's the fastest-paced game on the slate. We just got more injury news we weren't even expecting. These guys are in absolute smash spots tonight. Smash spots. So I'm going to be loading up on the Kings specifically. I mean, these Sacramento Kings guys, De'Aaron Fox, Terrence Davis, Harrison Barnes, Maytu, Buddy Hield, Davion Mitchell. They just are going to be phenomenal plays. You can't avoid them. The only ones that you could possibly avoid that are a little bit sketchy now with Rashawn Holmes and Damian Jones returning. You know, we could see Alex Len, Damian Jones, Rashawn Holmes kind of splitting their minutes. Maybe May 2 doesn't quite get the run that we're expecting him to get, so maybe May 2 becomes a pretty good fade. But outside of fading him, I mean, I don't see a route to where Fox, Barnes, and Buddy Hield, those three guys specifically, don't just absolutely smash here. So definitely going to want to be getting a lot of exposure there. Christian Wood at 7-3. Once again, love this game environment. He's even cheaper over here on FanDuel than he is on DraftKings. Grades out as a phenomenal play. He has power forward and center eligibility. Really easy to be getting a lot of exposure to him. FanDuel's making it really easy on you tonight, so certainly would be willing to load up on a bunch of Christian Wood. And yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys we talked about. All of this Houston-Sacramento game is just grading out as ridiculously good over here. Another guy that's really underpriced on FanDuel, though, that I'd be getting a lot of exposure to is D'Angelo Russell. D'Angelo Russell is priced at 7.7 compared to his 8K price range over there on DraftKings. So, once again, take advantage of the pricing discount on FanDuel. Love the play and love getting some exposure to D'Angelo Russell. So, all right. Let's see these questions we got coming in. Best center play on DK is going to be Nikola Jokic. Do I like Looney? Yeah, I do like Looney. I think Looney's actually a pretty interesting option. I just don't know with this value opening up. I had a lot more interest in Looney before the news broke about the Marvin Bagley news and all that stuff, so the Kings just opening up a lot more value. Kevin Looney does actually surprisingly get a pretty big bump up in usage with there being no Stephen Curry on the court, though. I was looking near that earlier. He actually gets a pretty decent bump up in his usage and his points per minute upside. So that's where I would be looking to on this one. But yeah, guys, we went over this slate. I'm feeling really good about it. I'm feeling good about the parlay play. If you have any questions, please do ask them in the chat. But if you haven't left a like on this video, we have 23 people on here, only 8 likes, guys. Trying to get that up, trying to get to 20 plus likes on all these live streams. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. And sign up for Parlay Play today and lock in this Parlay Play Bankroll Challenge pick, guys. I already locked it in myself. Sign up using that promo code KJK003. You'll get an instant match deposit up to $50. You get a risk-free $10 to play with, and I think we're going to be turning this $25 into $250 tonight. I already locked it in myself. Love the pick. I'm going to put the link in the chat to try to help you guys out. I also do offer premium content. If you're liking the free stuff on these streams, I promise you, you're really going to like the paid stuff, so check that out. Save your money. KJK sucks. Well, 1, you should change your screen name if you want any more questions answered by me, and 2, if you'd stop spamming in the chat, that would be greatly appreciated. So we're just gonna put you in a temporary timeout here, man. You gotta give some other people some chances to ask some questions. So take a chill pill for a sec, and when you get back in, you can ask me some questions, but you're spamming the chat right now, man. Fresh says, Poole still a lock? Question mark. Yeah, I love Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole's still going to be a phenomenal play. You could make more of a case to pivot off him. I'm sure his ownership's going to be really high now with this value opening up for the Sacramento Kings. You could make more of a case to be going to some other guys that we talked about rather than a Jordan Poole. But at 5,400, still going to be a phenomenal play. He's too cheap on both websites. He gets a big bump up. There's no Stephen Curry. He makes a ton of sense. So, yes, Jordan Poole, still a lock. Obviously, some other plays have presented themselves that really grade out as a great play here. But I really do like Jordan Poole tonight. So, absolutely. I mean, I would be getting a ton of exposure. 5-4 on DraftKings. He's cheap on FanDuel as well. It makes a lot of sense to be getting some exposure to a Jordan Poole. So, yeah, gonna love him. All right, guys, I feel like we did a pretty good job of breaking down this slate. We got 23 people in here still. If you have some more questions, please do ask. I'll gladly help you out. If you haven't checked out the premium content package, check that out. I will put that link in the chat. But if we don't have any more questions, that's probably where I'm headed next. I got to update my projections, update my core plays, answer any questions in the chat, and help those guys out. So if you want to sign up, you can. If you have any questions, please ask them. I'd love to hang around here a little bit longer. I have this scheduled until 5:30 if there's still questions rolling in. If not, if you're feeling pretty good about the slate, feeling confident about it, then maybe we can bounce out of here a little bit early. But Yeah, I think we did a pretty good job of breaking this down. Going to want to be getting a ton of exposure to that Houston-Sacramento game. The Sacramento side just opened up even more usage. But we're feeling good. We're loading up on that Houston-Sacramento game and all that fun stuff. I missed FanDuel center to Prince. All right, we can talk about it right now. So I really like paying up for Nikola Jokic. You only get one center position on FanDuel. I think that using that center position to pay up for the top fantasy point producer in the league is a smart thing to do. So I would love going to him. Some secondary options. Christian Wood at 7'3", going to be a phenomenal play now in this fast up-tempo game. So he would be a second guy that I'd be looking to. He does have power forward eligibility, though, so you don't have to necessarily play him at the center position. And then Kevon Looney, I think, at 5'3" is a pretty reasonable play. He does, once again, have power forward and center eligibility, though, so you don't have to play him at the center position. And a cheap guy you could be looking to now with all this news coming out is a Maytu, who should get a bump up in minutes, bump up in usage with there being no Marvin Bagley. Certainly does make some sense, but I got to be honest with you. I think the center position offers a lot of there's a lot of, what am I trying to say here? Opportunity cost at the center position by not playing Nikola Jokic. So if I'm playing on FanDuel, I think I'm getting a lot of exposure to Nikola Jokic. Top fantasy point producer in the league. We have so much other value. We talked about it. We now have a Terrence Davis that's minimum salary on FanDuel who's going to absolutely smash. I mean, having a guy in your lineup that's minimum salary that you know is going to get there pretty much no matter what because he's starting now and is a very good fantasy point producer makes a lot of sense. Terrence Davis is putting up 0.99 FanDuel points per minute on the season, and he is minimum salary in the fastest up pace game on the slate. I mean, he's just an absolute smash play. Absolute smash play. So I think you have the value to be getting up to Nikola Jokic, and I would suggest that you do so. Guard or forward under 3,900 on DK, and do you like Davis? Yes, I do like Davis. Under 3,900 on DK. Let's go ahead and pull it up. Under 3,900, let's see. You have Alex Len, Kuminga, Jeff Green. We talked about being pretty good. I mean, I think it's got to be Terrence Davis at 3.7 now. He's guard. He's forward eligibility. There's no Tyrese Halliburton. There's no Marvin Bagley. He's going to get a big bump up in minutes, big bump up in usage. And it's in the fastest pace game on the slate, 238.5 over-under for the Sacramento Kings Houston Rockets. So I think you have to go with Terrence Davis there. And, yeah. Matik says, keep doing what you're doing. Watch before. First comment, you appreciate it. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Glad you're enjoying the content, guys. If you're enjoying it, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss when I upload new content, when I go live. Thank you for tuning in tonight. If you have any questions, ask them in the chat. I will gladly answer them. And hit that like button. We only have 11 likes right now, trying to get that up to 20 plus. That would be greatly appreciated. And if you have any questions, I'll hang around here for another, 10, 20 minutes to answer your questions. If not, we can bounce out of here. Larry, welcome in. How you doing, man? If you have any questions, Larry, let me know. We talked about this slate. Feeling pretty good about it. We have a bunch of value opening up with the Sacramento Kings Houston Rockets game. Terrence Davis now going to be a phenomenal play starting in the lineup now with there being no Tyrese Halliburton. There's also no Marvin Bagley, which surprisingly Terrence Davis and Marvin Bagley tend to be directly correlated when it comes to minutes and upside. Believe it or not, because Marvin Bagley kind of takes up wing minutes in an ironic way with all the centers that they're filing through the rotation with Alex Len. You have Alex Len, you have Damian Jones returning, you have Rashawn Holmes now. So Terrence Davis, the two possible guys that we're taking away from Terrence Davis's usage and upside in both his minutes and usage are literally Tyrese Halliburton and Marvin Bagley, and now they were ruled out, and his price tag is not high enough. So I think he is an absolute smash play. So I love that play. Matik says, is building a Golden State Warriors lineup with Klay Thompson a good play? I don't think so. He's still limited. There's so many other good plays in that same price range that we talked about where Klay Thompson, he's not going to get the minutes and upside that he should be getting. So, Save Your Money says, mutes me, only asking, gave you $8, wonders I changed my name. Yeah, man, your name is KJK Money, Save Your Money, he sucks, and you're spamming the chat, and you're thinking you can just give me $8 in a super chat, and that doesn't affect everyone else, and they can't ask questions, and you're not affecting my live streams, and your name's literally that. So, I mean, I'll gladly just ban you from the channel. Thank you for the super chats, but just limit your questions, let other people get to the questions, And thank you for supporting. If you ask the questions at a reasonable rate and you aren't spamming the chat, I will gladly help you out. Also, if you could change your username and maybe, you know, come back with a different one that doesn't say my content sucks and my brand sucks, that would help you as well to get your questions answered. So I think that's kind of goes without saying. Yeah, man, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that's just a terrible attitude in life, and I'm not going to be answering your questions. So, Patrick says, no haters allowed here. Yeah, man, Patrick, if you have any questions, I'll gladly answer them. Been trying to get through all these questions, but yeah. Guys, we got 16 people in here, 14 likes. If you're enjoying the content, hit that like button. Do greatly appreciate it. And sign up for the premium content if you haven't already. Check it out, guys. $19.99. Very reasonably priced compared to the rest of the packages in the industry. And would highly recommend it. You get access to all this fun stuff. So check that out. Linked it in the chat. You can check it out. Link below in the description. But I'm probably going to bounce out of here in the next 5 minutes. So we're going to hang out here till 5:15. Look at some injury news here. I don't think we have anything else coming out. 6 o'clock lock, just so you guys know. I think if you're playing tonight, you probably know that. But it's 6 o'clock, not 7 o'clock compared to what it usually is. Eastern time. I'm on the East Coast, so I don't know if you guys are on the East Coast. But yeah, we're feeling good, man. You should really like your lineups on this slate tonight. Tons of value. Tons of value in the fastest paced game is the thing. You know, Terrence Davis, May 2 now. You should be paying up for a guy like a Nikola Jokic, who's the top stud on the slate. Shouldn't be an issue. You should be able to fit him in your lineups pretty easily. Would highly recommend that you do so. And yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense to be loading up on that game. Everyone's probably going to be doing it. The ownership's probably going to be there, but I think if you don't, you're making a massive mistake. Like, if you just completely fade this first game, I literally don't think there is a single possibility that you have a chance of coming in first place in a tournament. If the first place lineup tonight comes in first with no exposure to this Houston Rockets Sacramento Kings game, first of all, that's just not going to happen. But I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I don't know. It's just wild. So you got to be getting exposure to this game. Get exposure to those value plays. And most importantly, if you want good luck on this slate tonight, you got to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. Because if you don't do that, the luck's not going to be on your side tonight. And you should be locking in the Parlay Play Challenge pick of the day. If you haven't signed up over there on Parlay Play, use my link down below the description. Use the link that I'm going to put in the chat right now. Use the promo code KJK003. You get the risk-free $50. You get the $10 instantaneously to play with off the bat, and you get a big bump up to your bankroll when this thing hits. De'Aaron Fox, Christian Wood, Harrison Barnes, Kevin Porter Jr. Over. And that is my pick of the night. Already locked it in. You will turn $25 into $250. Love the pick, guys. All right. I'm going to head out of here. Matik says, KJK, thank you for answering the questions. No problem. I appreciate it. Patrick says, you're the man. Thank you, Patrick. You are the man. I appreciate all the support. And, yeah, I'm out of here. Matik, good luck, man. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Wish you all the best of luck tonight, guys. Check out all the links down below in the description. And I'm going to be heading over to the premium content right now, updating my projections, updating my core plays. And if you would like to become a premium content member, you can do so by heading over here to patreon.com/KJK_DFS, signing up today. Wishing you guys all the best of luck tonight, and we will see you in the next one.